we've talked about some late release games for Sega Genesis here before on Genesis Does, but we've never talked about one that came out in 2002. And by all accounts, this may actually be the last Sega Genesis game that was officially licensed and released. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, so I apologize to any Portuguese speakers out there, but this is called Show do Milhao Volume 2, and it is the sequel to Show do Milhao. But what is Show do Milhao, and why does anybody care? Well, does the music strike a familiar chord with you? Does it remind you of the late Regis Philbin? Then you wouldn't be that far off. Show Million was a program of Television Brazil of questions and answers, which provided a top prize of 1 million Brazilian reals. This was shown by SBT, presented by Silvio Santos, and achieved great success in the first period that it aired, from November 7th, 1999 to October 23rd, 2003. It was brought back to SBT on July 8th, 2009, but didn't have the same success as it did when it first aired, and was discontinued September 9th of that year. They brought it back a third time in 2017 in a kids version where only children up to the age of 12 could register to play. Obviously, that's much, much too late for the release of this Sega Genesis game from 2002. According to Sega Retro, it stands as the very last Mega Drive game to be released officially in any region, and is the only Mega Drive game to ship with Tectoy's redesigned logo. And if you know Tectoy, you know that they were the purveyors of the Sega Genesis in Brazil, long past its shelf life in the United States. In fact, they still sell the Sega Master System there to this very day, and a Sega Genesis that comes with built-in games. So you might still be able to find Show de Milhao on store shelves, but there's only so much I can do with this game because, unfortunately, I don't speak Portuguese. I only understand very little bits of it from more or less working with mixed martial arts and hearing them say things like obrigado, which means thank you. But these questions aren't that simplistic, so I'm just winging it and going for dumb luck and hoping I can pick any one of the 4 correct answers. I tried to figure out where the phone a friend or ask the audience options were. Couldn't quite get that worked out, so this is literally a wing and a prayer for any of these questions that I'm answering. So if you're fluent in Portuguese, I'm sure Show do Milhao Volume 2 is pretty fun, but for me, it's limited at best. It exists as a historical artifact of, gee, can you believe somebody was still making Sega Genesis games in 2002? But let's not put too much stock into that because this game is so simplistic, you could have put it on an Intellivision. There's not a lot going on here. There's no 3D animation. There's no spectacular special effects or rotations or scrolling. It's just menus with questions and you answer them. Anything can do that. A handheld LCD game can do that. A pocket computer, your mobile phone, an Atari 2600 could probably do this. Now this question I was actually able to figure out because I was like, sexagenario, 65 años, 65 years. That one I actually got just by working out the words in the question and matching it up with the correct answer. So I managed to get 2 in a row here. But seriously, it's not saying much for Sega Genesis in any region of the world that this came out in 2002 because this could have come out on Commodore 64. This could have come out on anything. They just used the Sega Genesis because Sega has such a huge install base in South America and particularly in Brazil. There are some real oddball Sega Master System games that you can find that are exclusive to Brazil. Maybe we'll feature those on a future episode of Genesis Does because Genesis does include Sega Master System games and we have done that before. But my game ends here because I only was able to get 2 in a row. So let's leave it at that. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time on a new episode of Genesis Does.